What is up, you guys? We're here for our weekend reflection message where we basically summarize what we've been learning through the week, and it usually ends up tying it all together. So my energy is low. I was up like most of the night and all this morning, like a stomach bug or something. So it really took it out of me, but I'm stir crazy. I have been cozy in stillness, just like our reading from last night suggested. And so I've been doing research for the next release in Secret Teachings. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to take that on a walk and meander through the forest and then have a nice Shabbat, do a Kabbalah class and work on that article. So I've got a nice gentle night ahead. But our first card out is anything but gentle energy. It is Mercury in Leo, which is drama, followed by the Sun in Taurus, which is acquisition, followed by Jupiter in Virgo, which is patience. Underneath our drama card, we actually have King of Pentacles. Underneath acquisition, we have Nine of Cups. And underneath Jupiter. You guys bear with me. Underneath Jupiter in Virgo, which is patience, we have the High Priestess. So amazing. I am going to pause this and let y'all listen to the audio really quick. It's pretty brief. Our message today is pretty direct, although there are layers. So we'll be right back.
A change will soon be made evident. We have to remain patient and stay present and aware of our consciousness and outlook. The expression of our ideas and vision are going to be fruitful, given that we maintain our efforts, our belief beyond logic, and the transformation in ourselves we allow to occur as a result of our deepening connection and receptivity to the guidance of the Holy Spirit and God's divine wisdom. Don't let appearances discourage you. Remember, we are always being challenged or tested. If we expect these tests and challenges, we take them less personally and look for ways to meet these opportunities proactively, as opposed to becoming emotional and drawing conclusions from a place of distress or upset. Even when we find that we must bring something to conclusion, we understand that it is a transition into a new beginning.
Yes, so our Mercury in Leo card here, this is kind of the seed level of the reading, and so there's a lot that can branch off from this. So drama can be heightened right now, for one, because, well, let's just look at the energies of Mercury in Leo. Mercury is very fast. It's all about ideas and speech and words and wittiness and quippiness and intellect and interest and curiosity and exploration, right? It's very fast moving. Leo is very kind of grandiose and, takes up the space in the room in a positive way or a negative way. They don't shy away from the spotlight. Leo is outspoken for like those who they deem are being put upon, like in an unjust way. Like Leo defends the underdog. Leo wants a lot of respect. They're very prideful, just like the lion, right? So Leo can be like a snare and a stumbling block for Leo. It can push them to do kind of boorish and impulsive and reactive things, if they feel that they are their pride is being challenged or they're not being respected. So there's a lot of really amazing qualities, though, that come with Leo, because Leo has that part of the ego that wants to be seen and wants to be heard. So if we want to get a message out there, we need some of that. And it can be overdose, like with our president of the United States and some other boy band dictators around the world. They're represented here. Or it could come in the form of somebody, having a message, but they have an ability to put themselves out there and take up space and be heard from a sense of like deep self-worth and core confidence, like Zohran Mamdani, for instance. He can get out there, he can make his message heard, he defends the weak, and he can be, strong in his, when he is confronting injustice, but he's always fair and dignified and respectful and, puts humanity forward. He's coming from a loving place. So that with Mercury right now. Mercury, so think about the shadow of the moment could be not to be too quick to get your panties in a twist and then pop off at the mouth. Or get your panties in a twist and then do something or make some big decision or go in a separate direction or use this thing instead because of this thing that happened. You know what I mean? So don't make any big decisions or be reactive, falling into reactive behavior or words right now. If you feel like your pride is being challenged, or if you feel a little dissed, right? Talk to the hand because the face don't want to hear it. Like right now, there could be too much tension, and small things could be like that little pebble that cracks the whole windshield, right? So just be mindful, be diplomatic, have patience, and let your jets cool. On another hand, if you are bringing out a message into the world, or you're working on something or putting something out there, you're developing ideas or understanding, or doing things like in a mercurial sense, right? Communications, like it could even be the way that you think about things. You're coming to a different way that you see life, maybe. Any of that. You're getting a more emboldened way of being able to share that message in a way that's effective and that's garnishing attention, right? Hopefully positive attention, right? From a higher place, higher quality attention. So if we can make use of our presence and the way that we share our message, and we can do that in a sustainable way, then I think that can lead to a lot of stability and affluence and abundance. The King of Pentacles has not only his shit together and he's on top of things, he's organized, he executes a plan and gets it done, but he can be profitable when that happens and fruitful for it. I think we are just in a turbulent moment, but don't be disheartened, because I think if we just stay at it and remain calm and grounded and focused and have faith, but also be practical in some ways, but have that faith that transcends logic, then I think that we are going to acquire what we want. Because whenever we are dealing with Taurus has this sense of what the zeitgeist is after. They have such a grasp on sensual delights that they know what people want and need and like and will respond to. And when they have wild hair, they can take the temperature of the population and then take an idea and materialize it and be very fruitful and very successful at it. So I think that there's something about better feelings. Good times are coming, lots of positive astrology on the horizon. We talked about it in the full moon workshop recently, if you're interested. But I think that if we stick with it and we keep our spirits up and we keep our vision and consciousness, like tunnel vision for the light, right? Even amidst these very turbulent times, it's not that what's happening is right or wrong. There are definitely right and wrong things happening, but there is a reason that even the wrong things are happening right now. It is a catalyst that is prompting the revelation of a greater light on the other side of it. And it is, that can be very triggering of an idea, and it takes a lot of acceptance, and it takes a lot of, I think, discernment to not let someone weaponize those ideas to manipulate, but good things can come on the other side of trials and tribulations, right? Revelation comes on the other side of that. So 9 of Cups is your wish comes true. All good things are coming to you, right? Acquisition, Sun in Taurus. Taurus loves comfort. They love stability. They love beautiful things, and they like material life. So I think that something that we've been working on for a long time is about to materialize in a very fulfilling way. And it's coming as a result of our internal change that has brought about more courage, more boldness, more energy, more of that positive ego to take up space in the room and make our voice heard, and growing stability and confidence. And so I think that it's right now, we just need patience. Virgo can be very self-critical and critical of others. I love Virgos because honestly, like, they deserve their haughtiness. They do things right. They pay attention. They want things to be done correctly, precisely, thoroughly. Not every Virgo is like this, but if you get yourself a nice type A Virgo in the crew, hold on tight, because they appreciate when things are correct and right. And I do too. I can't believe I don't have more in my chart in Virgo. I can't believe I don't have more planets in Virgo. It's crazy. So patience. So Virgo's meticulous, and when they're expressing themselves in a great way, they can be very thorough and organized. They can be great at putting organizations together and executing those organizations and systems, and a lot of times for the benefit of helping the greater good and the greater humanity. So it's like we're building the vessel to receive for the sake of sharing rather than for the self alone. And we're starting to understand more and more what that looks like as it manifests in our lives, right? So just have patience. Because that's difficult for Virgo. They don't want the process that, while everything is imperfect, right? So everything might be imperfect right now, but just have patience because Jupiter is expanding, right? All of the orderliness and beautiful machinery of what we've been creating in the material of Virgo, and bringing that mercurial part of Virgo into our ideas into materialization, and Jupiter's magnifying all the effort that we put into these ideas, especially if we can bring a pure intention and organization and meticulous execution and care, but just have patience because we're on the way. And I love that the High Priestess came out, because the High Priestess is our ability to tune in to our higher spirit that is in touch with the Holy Spirit. And that part of our spirit understands the mysteries and the inner wisdom, the hidden wisdom of the Torah, of the law of the Torah. There's layers to it. And the High Priestess has sort of like a natural inclination to be connected. She kind of represents the vessel of the Shekhinah. Usually in traditional Rider-Waite symbolism, the High Priestess is sitting there with her vestment, her shroud, partially covering the Torah, meaning that she has revealed some of its light and inner meaning, and there is also hidden meaning that has yet to be revealed. So I like this. There's something that is going on deep, profound levels, and we might even be expressing that depth and that profundity, if that's a word, in this outer expression, this idea, this thing, this, if you're not making something, like for instance, I'm literally doing this Substack, this Patreon, called Secret Teachings, where I'm going into the hidden meanings of the Torah and deep ancient wisdom and things like that. But for you, it might be, changing the way you're approaching life. It could be as broad as something like that. It could be, having ideas that you're working on and initiating, right? And understanding your deeper why and what's driving you, but also being able to, through that process, tune inward and be quiet and perceive beyond that veil, that little faint voice that is giving you loving and compassionate direction and support, in order to get you closer and closer and closer to that divine plan for your life and the divine order and plan for this thing that's been put in you, right? And even when a vessel, like say one project, we decide, this is about as good as it's going to get with this. Like for instance, I spent years working on this like Etsy shop because I make jewelry and stuff, and I love making things. I love making talismans, and I've always been just a person that makes art in the form of different things like sculptures and things we wear and whatnot. So people were always telling me, oh, you should make your own store. You should do your own store. Your stuff's so great. Your stuff's so great. And it's been, I love having it, and I love taking all the pictures, and I love making all the jewelry, and I love product photography and marketing and all of the things involved in the Etsy shop. But being on Etsy and making jewelry it takes people burning out and like getting a one of those autoimmune disorders in order to be successful, because unless you have a whole big production, which then costs a lot of money as well, I mean, you are like trying day and night to get your stuff out there, and you're competing against algorithms, and it's just so diluted. There was like a golden era for that place, and people got successful then, but just like every sort of gold rush, right? It kind of levels out, right? So I still have that Etsy shop. I don't talk about it a ton, and I still have things that I want to make for it and put in there, and I still stand by it. I wear my own jewelry. These are things that I made, right? So, but I realized that I wasn't going to be able to make a steady living off of that, given the other things that I felt were important in the brand, right? And so that has been something that I had to accept, like, okay, this is not going to be a profitable venture yet necessarily, right? Maybe someday I will put a product out from this brand that takes off, right? And it's easier to sell in batches and things. But just this Etsy shop, the form of it is probably never going to be that, wildly successful. It makes money. It's high star rated, but there's just not a lot of traffic. So there are things like that in our life that are just seasons, or they're building blocks that become part of a bigger picture, right? And so I could look at myself like some kind of failure because of that, but I don't, because I'm like, that's just part of my enterprise, right? And it is a stepping stone, and I learned all about all kinds of industry and parts of business and economy and I mean, all kinds of things, right? So I don't regret that at all. It's just part of the experience, but it leads into another thing, right? I think about the next major thing that was a project for me that I decided to tackle after the Etsy shop was launched was eventually, like, I was kind of like not knowing which thing to focus on, and my life was in kind of like upheaval for a minute, but then it was like it was clear that it was time to start the channel. And I think I hadn't done it before because I was being too over perfectionistic, and I was like, well, I kept thinking I'd have to do this big production every time and export the footage and edit it, do my hair and makeup and lighting. And I'm like, you guys know that sometimes have makeup on and sometimes I don't, sometimes my hair is done and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the lighting is better than others. I don't really edit the videos. I just, put them out there as they are, because what's important is the thinking and the ideas and the thoughts and expounding upon concepts and being in the moment, right? We're like, it's like the weather channel, the weather show. It's only, it's not that it's only relevant for that day, but we are kind of commenting on the spiritual tools that are required in the day at the moment, but they're evergreen concepts. That's why I'm doing the other channel. So it's more evergreen concepts. And this is more like talking about the relevance of those concepts as they're coming up on a day-to-day basis, right? So what is it for you? Something is leading you and guiding you. And even if one part of your thing is coming to a completion, that is something to be celebrated, like a graduation, because it means that there is a new chapter coming in your life, even though you may not know exactly what it looks like yet or how it's going to show up or be shaped like, right? But it is there. There's never an ending without another beginning. It's just there's always something happening. Even if there is like a void space, as long as you keep your spirit stays active, you keep the active desire, you keep making an effort, things will unfold, things will happen. All right, y'all, that is all for tonight. I'm gonna go on my walk and have my Shabbat and cook, even though I'll probably be able to eat later, but I just like the thought of it. And I'm gonna study and take notes for the next edition of Secret Teachings. All right, I'll keep y'all updated on that. If you want to subscribe now, the button is below in the description box. And if you want to start with just the free version, you can follow me at The Elizabeth Rose on Substack and Patreon. And then I have another YouTube channel, The Elizabeth Rose, and I have Facebook and Instagram, The Elizabeth Rose. All right, y'all. Peace.